GM, we are live and we're waiting for 5. If you want to hop in this BBM, let me know and hop on in. I was just going to get the word out that we were live. Give me 1 second here and I'm going to let the people know. Waiting for 3 BBM. All right. Hey, good morning to you, Tiger Uppercut GM. Thanks so much for hanging out. Donnie Murphy, morning, Chad. Let's get it. Hey, good morning, Donnie. Thank you for coming by. B Grandy GM. Thanks so much for coming in. Best ball on call. Like this yesterday. Well, thank you. Thank you for giving us the first like there. Always appreciated. Tyler, happy Friday. Hey, good morning to you. I hope you're not already past 40 working hours this week. If you are, make sure to cut out a little early because, you can't. You just can't let them grind you down like that, Tyler. But thanks so much for coming in. Hope you're having a great Friday yourself here. Looks like we're here at the 11 hole. Our friend B Grandy in there at the 9. Fantasy football is fun. I recognize that name, but don't know if they're in here. But I guess it's somewhat of a memorable username. And B-Rob. So is B-Rob already moved on from the Commanders? And now he is doing best ball drafts at 8:32 a.m. It's unclear. But you know what? If he's in here, we got to think we should keep an eye on where he takes himself, because that should give a good indication of whether of where he's going to be this year. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal streaming setup. I'm on a different monitor in my living room. So we're gonna make the best of it. I updated my exposures, but I only got through quarterback and running back before I went live. So wide receiver is still as of 114 BBMs. The quarterbacks and running backs are through 126. Been trying to get Miles Sanders down to I don't know what it'll be when I have 150, because we're gonna stop taking him, but I'm still gonna be probably over 10% still, or 12% even, which feels not great. I have seen some people who are still taking him. The last I heard, it's going to be between him and Phil Maffa for the last roster spot. Don't love that. I'm at the point of cope where I'm saying, well, maybe he gets cut and ends up somewhere where they use him, which is not where you want to be. Tiger Uppercut asks, what am I doing with A-Chain? He's fallen. And so I think I'm still happy to take A-Chain at his discounted price. I'm not going to take him at 14, but I'm not like out on A-Chain. It is a little scary, the calf thing. I have to wonder how much of this calf, I don't want to say craziness because it's not crazy. These are these people's careers and livelihood, but the high profile Halliburton injury in the NBA finals, where this guy, played through a sore calf and then popped his Achilles. I feel like that has people very spooked about calf stuff. I don't know if that's coming from the players themselves or the teams or the medical staff, or that's just me drawing a through line that doesn't exist. But I do get the sense that people are being extremely, extremely cautious with the calves. I'm going to take Amon-Ra over Neighbors. I'm not super worried about the toe thing, but I'm light on Amon-Ra. So I don't want to end up like drastically underweight on somebody I'm pretty excited about this year. After that, I'll likely take another receiver here rather than go with Derrick Henry. We're towards the end of the draft. I kind of want these drafts to be a little more fun. I have plenty of Derrick Henry at this point. I love Drake London. So we'll start with Amon-Ra in London, and off we go. The back end of the board, definitely more wide receiver heavy. Let's see what B Grandy does. He starts with Puka, and after Puka, he goes Bucky Irving. All right, so B Grandy is off with a balanced start. Donnie Murphy asks, any rumors on what contest will be released today? Well, I'll say I was expecting a Superflex contest. Now, I am not a Superflex bro. I've done a little bit of Superflex. There is a small but vocal section of the best ball community that absolutely loves Superflex. So for their sake, because PPR Tyler is the reason that I got over 100 subs to begin with. He had me on his channel when I was still in the in the 80s, and he is a huge Superflex guy. So for his sake, I hope he gets it. Steve Schaup, also a big Superflex guy. So I hope for those people, because those are two of my favorite content creators, and I know they love their super flex. So I hope for those guys that they get a super flex contest. If not, I mean, I love the pug, but it filled. I only got one pug in. I didn't have time yesterday. I'm still have about 30 or so DK milli drafts. I still have 20. I think now I'm gonna have 22 BBMs left, and these things are gonna start filling exponentially fast. And DK drafts can take longer. The 30-second clock is a big difference from the 20-second. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like the casual players who haven't been doing this all summer just don't click as fast, because you tell your normie draft that, okay, this year we're going to do 30-second clocks, and there'd be a riot. So I think for some people, they take the full clock. They're not, they can't just draft by memory. Like I'm sure many of us, if you said, okay, you're in the 12 hole, and we didn't get to look at the draft board, we could probably still draft a team that like makes some sense. Like we really know like where players go and what the kind of pockets of the draft are. So I do feel like the DK drafts have been taking longer than they were earlier in the summer. All right, so we have Allen and Lamar. They go over here on the left side of the board in their kind of new home after spending most of the time on the right. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed I only got one pug in. That's a really good contest at a really nice price point. So I would love to see them roll just a bunch of those kind of like 3 max, 5 max stuff that we could jam in, especially if have max BBM, so there's more for us to do. I know they're trying to get us to fill the sprint. I really like the sprint. I just wish I had more time in the day to get there. Man, I would love Garrett Wilson here if he fell to me, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Oh my gosh, we got Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson at 35. I know people are out. I know people are scared, but scared money don't make money, and we're going to take Wilson. I think he's going to have an absolutely monster target share over there. I love Worthy. Worthy would have been interesting, but maybe we'll get we're either going to do Jaden Daniels or James Cook at this point. So James Cook goes, let's do an elite QB build here, and let's take Jaden Daniels. So we've got Jaden Daniels, Amon-Ra, Drake London, and Garrett Wilson. I love this. If we can get there at running back, and 59 and 62 is generally you could get some of the running backs you want. Absolute worst case, if it's really thin and we feel like we need running backs, we could reach for a Pacheco or a Pollard type. Those are two guys I'm really high on that tend to live out over here on the left. Pacheco's been a big riser all summer. Pollard's risen a bit, so maybe you're not getting it in the best, but honestly, I love to start. Like, I'm willing to throw Amon-Ra, London, Wilson, and Daniels against pretty much any 4 you get to start with. So I'm not too worried about taking guys who have risen if I have to. Tiger Uppercut says, fire start. Hey, I'm glad you like the team, Tiger Uppercut. So we're almost 10 minutes in, and I have not addressed the elephant in the room, which is Cam Scatabo. He started yesterday for the Giants. He played, I believe it was 2 series. It was either 2 or 3, and then they pulled him early, which I feel like is somewhat bullish. The fact that, Dart played the entire first half, or maybe he went out. I think he was supposed to slide and then didn't, so Jameis came in, but I think the plan was to have Dart the whole first half. But anyway, I feel like it's a somewhat good sign that they considered him important enough to take him out. Obviously, if you want to read that as a conditioning thing, he's only returned to practice a few days ago. You can do that too. You can be a killjoy and you can do that. But I thought he looked good. I mean, he ran hard, 3 carries, 12 yards, nothing that's going to cause his ADP to skyrocket. But I saw enough there to where, he finishes his runs hard. He's willing to, he's not going to shy away from contact. Maybe he was a little overzealous. I know our friend Buck St. Thomas was in the Matic Discord trolling that he was jumping sideways into every tackle. And I don't think that's something that I ever noticed from his college days. So I, could have been a little overexcited. I mean, this guy is an absolute dog. So I'm not surprised that he might have been, trying to give forth a little more than maximum effort yesterday. But anyway, I saw enough to where I'm happy. I feel like them taking him out did show that they want to, they see him as a part of the team and an important early contributor. So Let's hope. Let's hope that's the case. All right, board is coming around. After we pick at 63, we pick at 83. I just want to see what the running backs are in that range currently. Jordan Mason, Jaylin Warren. I don't mind getting one of those guys with this Aaron Jones, Mason Warren range if we were to take a Debo to potentially pair with Daniels. I think that's something that I'm highly interested in. So I think I'll take Debo and then one of Chuba, Kamara, or Connor, or at the very least, maybe maybe one of those Pacheco kind of guys to be different. So let's see. Let's first just take Debo, because I really do think that's a nice stack here with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, obviously, you can take unstacked. So my preference here would be Kamara. If Kamara's gone, then it will be Pacheco. I'm perfectly into that. I'm just trying to make sure there's no reason to take Pollard over Pacheco, but I'm really fine with Isaiah Pacheco as a first running back in a sort of zero RB style build here. So we've started off with Amon-Ra, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Jaden Daniels, Debo Samuel, and Isaiah Pacheco. Not too bad, not too bad. B. Grandy, after taking Puka and Bucky, he goes with Kyron Williams, Cortland Sutton, R.J. Harvey, and Rome Odunze. So I like to start that B. Grandy over there. Scott, I'll keep the board up so people can see what's going on. Again, I'm not on my usual monitor, and the resolution isn't quite as good, I don't think so. You're missing a round or two that you'd normally get. So again, apologies for that. Dirty P says, we're getting a poodle too. Where's your Jaylin lit exposure? Dirty P, it's not high enough. It's not high enough. And I actually did a DraftKings BBM or Millie Maker. And I was taking a wide receiver with my very last pick, and I thought I queued up Jaylin Lane, and I had it, and so I was scrolling frantically for who my pick was, but he was never in the queue, and my fingers were too slow. So I missed a Jaylin Lane share that I really wanted on a DK team because he was going to go undrafted. Yeah, it's not high. It's not high. It's going to be lower than 1%. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm hoping we're not getting Luke McCaffrey here, because that sort of happened to me last season. But it does seem. Here, let me see. This also includes a lot of nonsense. Oh my God, do I have no Jaylin Lane? Okay, I have 0% Jaylin Lane. Seems bad. Seems bad. Maybe we'll try to get Jaylin Lane on this team. Yeah. Again, I was severely burned by the McCaffrey thing last year. I took a lot of him late in drafts, but what have I done? Okay. But, Ben Gretsch was describing him as a great, quote, ball in hand player, which I feel like they do see that, a guy that you want to scheme the ball, really good in space, can create his own opportunities. So it does seem like they like him. McLaurin just came back off of the injured. I don't know. I don't want to say injured list, but he's apparently at least going to be doing some more conditioning and stuff. I don't think he's ended his holdout, but some steps were taken that were apparently somewhat positive. I'm always a little worried about these things. But I don't think the holdout is officially over, which is always like some cause for minor concern. But don't necessarily love how long this McLaurin stuff has dragged on. It's getting a little weird there in Washington. Go AZ Cars. Congrats on Scatabo getting some preseason actives. I mean, we've got our Scatabo jersey on today in honor of the event. Yes, this is a BBM. This is a BBM draft, and we're going to be taking a running back here. Just going to depend who. B. Grandy gets Michael Pittman. I like Michael Pittman there. Jaden Reed goes. Let's sort by running back. Man, Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason have converged, but let's take Aaron Jones. I feel like Aaron Jones is a pretty good selection here. I'm willing to take Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. I don't know that I've actually done that. They've both risen quite a bit. Jaylen Warren would be fine too. Caleb looked good yesterday. I'm still afraid it's going to be a little more committee-y than we want, but I don't know. Part of me almost thinks I'm taking Mason here. I could take Hawkinson though. Hawkinson might be a better play, being that now we have Aaron Jones. We could make a little bit of a bet on the Vikings. Let's see what Eagles does. So Eagles denies us that chance. I don't do this much. Let's do it. Let's live a little. Let's take Mason. Why not? Why not? I mean, you could get there with A-Chain and Mostert. That was perfectly reasonable. Why can't Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason behind a better offensive line with a better defense be the 2024 A-Chain and Mostert? And you could say there's no A-Chain on this team, and that's fine. That's fine. But you know what? I think there's a world where both of them can get there. I think it's going to be a little bit unique, and well, we'll try something. I don't want all my teams to look the same. I don't want to never do something, because it could be kind of fun. Joey B says, GM best ball, 12 days left to change your life. That is true. This is it. We are truly down to the wire. I cannot believe we're already 12 days away from kickoff. It is absolutely bonkers that it feels like forever ago we were doing big board drafts in January, right? It was still like the conference finals that came out. I think it was not during the Super Bowl. It was before then. So I think it was the conference finals week that the big board dropped. So we have been doing this a long time, Ghost cards. Sorry to make you repeat, but did you get your pugs in? How many? 1Q, 0, 1Q, and 1 pug. So unfortunately, I did 1 pug late last night when it was like 80% full. And I was like, I really hope it's still open in the morning. And I woke up and it was, it had filled overnight. The West Coast people, they just get all the breaks in life. So they were able to get that one. But goes cards, 1Q will have either 0 or 30 in the finals. Very similar base for my teams. Yeah. That's a contest where if I had more time, like, I would have loved to have focused on it, because I think there is a big edge, right? Like the team over-unders are going to be more accurate for week 1 than week 16 and 17. Like we're trying to project the teams with good playoffs. Like we're probably, I would have to say we have a lot more information about what's going on week 1 than we do week 17. So I think if you were willing to grind which teams have favorable matchups, you had an edge right there. Like you're going to be able to get teams in better game scripts. I don't think most people were doing that. And I also think just the other edge, which is a super obvious one, is you have just dead teams, like teams taking Judkins, teams taking Godwin. Like you just had people taking players that aren't going to be playing at all. And that's like, I don't want to say paying the rake, but it's like kind of paying the rake. Like you're just going to have teams that just cannot win in your pods. So I think it's a great contest, and it's one where I think it was a good place to deploy your capital if you had put a little effort into it. So Fields does not come to us. That would have been nice. Dak, May, Goff. We could potentially do Goff with Amon-Ra. I don't really need a second quarterback with Jaden Daniels. Jacques Charbonnet has been flying up draft boards. I think I'm interested in that more than anything else. Of course, Barker was too, because I just tried to click Zach Charbonnet and he went. All right, let's get Shaheed. I like Shaheed let's take Shaheed here. He's a guy that I've been trying to mix in a little bit more. I know Davis famously has been beating the Shaheed drum. I agree with that. I really do like Rashid Shaheed. I think he's a more complete player than the market is giving him credit for. We'll take that, and then I'll queue up Etienne. Even though I'm not a huge Etienne fan, I would take the dip on him. If Etienne goes, let's do Loveland or Kraft. So Dobbins goes, let's take Travis Etienne. I think this is fine. He's either going to be very involved in Jacksonville, or he's going to be very involved on a team that we're more excited about. So we'll do that. Obviously, I could have taken Scatabo, but I have so much Scatabo as it is. I don't need to necessarily force it. I'm not just taking him for the bit. I legitimately really like him this season. Let's see, B. Grandy, after taking Pittman, he goes Tyler Warren, Caleb Williams, and then Colston Loveland. So he gets Caleb, Loveland, and Odunze. So nice start from B. Grandy over there. Krosky Merit Watch ends at pick 114. So for those keeping track at home, he goes at 114. Donnie Murphy says, I know this sounds sicko-ish, but I'm going to miss drafting in a few weeks. Yeah, it's true. I mean, like, I'm going to miss it too, because when it's over, like, I'm going to keep doing these, but I'm sure this time next year, some of you all won't be doing this anymore. You'll have moved on to other stuff. So it's a little bit sad for me. Like, it's kind of the end of something. It'll be the start of something else. It'll be the start of battle royales. Eventually we'll be in draft season. We'll be doing it all again. The cycle will continue, but this has been a really fun summer. It really has been fun, and I've really enjoyed hanging out. So I'm absolutely going to miss doing these drafts with you all. FK Coolers, Ayuk was picked in 100% of my drafts, and I maxed it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I left his name off of the list, but yeah, 100% drafted guy who is just not going to play. Like, that's just a dead roster spot in an important part in a very short contest. Like, you just can't afford to eat zeros in that. Ghost Cards, yes, it sounds sicko-ish. I can't wait for a little break. You can take breaks in the middle of this, by the way. I would highly recommend that to people. Like, just in June or July, just don't draft for a week. Just like come back refreshed. I feel like there's this feeling like, oh, I have to max every contest, or what if this was the one that's like the winner? It's like, you're much more likely to draft a winner if you're like mentally and physically feeling good than if you're just like grinding it out, try to grind every edge to the nub. Like, it's just so hard to stay focused in these drafts. Eddie Perez, we eat, sleep, and drink, and breathe best ball. Hey, Eddie Perez, thanks so much for coming and hanging out. And yes, we it's GM. It's this is fun. This is why we do this. We're here at the end. We're 12 days remaining. GM Scatabros, hey, it's a good day to be a Scatabro. It is a good day to be a Scatabro. So I'm going to live my truth and say that, he came out because they want him, heavily involved, not because he's not because he's not in game shape yet. All right. Same Donnie. I'm burnt out now, but September 4th, I'll be missing it. Then it's Madden and chill time. It will be well earned then. It will be well earned. Njoku, a little bit of a faller. T-Law, Stroud. Interesting choice here. I've been a little bit out on Njoku. Can I do it? I'm gonna take T-Law. I'm afraid I'm gonna get boxed out badly at quarterback. Oh no, I meant to take Penix. See, this is the kind of thing that you do. This is the kind of thing that you do when you're making mistakes. And I meant to take Penix and T-Law. That was the plan. I mean, excuse me, Penix and Stroud. That's what I wanted to do, and I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm doing weird stuff that seems suboptimal. So let's not double down on an error. Let's just take Penix here and tell ourselves that hopefully we get Brenton Strange. Where's Brenton Strange go? He goes at 153. We probably won't get him because people like Brenton Strange, and we're picking at 155. But you know what? No reason to compound errors. Picking on the turn sometimes can be a little wonky, and you got to reach for people. That's one I wish I could have back. I will admit I messed that up. I kind of panicked, forgetting that my initial plan was Penix and Pitts. That's okay. We will adapt. We shall overcome. Our friend B. Grandy, he added Ayuk and Tootin there. Like those picks. I think Tootin made sense there. Eddie Perez says, that's half the fun, but this is one until week 4, and it's a dead team due to injuries. But don't worry, Resurrection and Best Ball will be here. Yeah. I always tell myself I'm going to do the new Best Ball contest like week 2 on, and DraftKings releases those, and then I do one, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. Like I have done, 1,200 teams. I'm good. I'm good. If I didn't get it pre-draft, I'm not going to get it here. Although I think I think I made a finals team with one of those post-draft contests. So maybe there is still an edge because I think you get people that have not been drafting best ball like at all and just don't get the format, especially on DK. So maybe there's an edge if you still have the gas for it. I know last year I didn't, even though I wanted to. Those cards drafting was fun, but hopefully sweating out a limbs all 17 weeks will be more fun. Yeah, I only did I don't remember how many eliminators I did. Let me see. I think I can pull that up. 46. 46 eliminators, 1 big, 45 regular. So hopefully I have something left, but the odds, the math suggests I will not. What if? Sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a long morning. Artillery Frost, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in. Goes cards. If you stack Indy, are you taking Danny Dimes or A-Rich? I'm taking Danny Dimes because there is a chance that it's like if it's not Danny Dimes and it's Jake Haener, and you're just gonna feel like why didn't I just take the guy they announced as the starter? And didn't with the Colts, didn't they go Flacco, A-Rich, Flacco one year? Like it went back to the original guy. Like I feel like there's a chance Danny Dimes stinks. They bring in A-Rich. A-Rich is even worse, and then they go back to Danny Dimes or I don't know. I'm just taking Danny Dimes. I mean, he has never had an offensive line as good as the offensive line he has now. So maybe there is something there more than meets the eye. All right, we're really gonna hope we get Brenton Strange here. If Strange goes, all right, so we do get Brenton Strange. At least we can tell ourselves we got the a T-Law stack. I think that's fine. I wouldn't mind Zach Ertz here. Xavier Legette. I think I'm more interested in Xavier Legette at this point than I am Ertz, although I would take Ertz. If I take Legette, I feel like I could stop at 6 receivers here. So let's do that. Let's take Legette. I think the fear that Coker beat him out is sort of alleviated by the way Coker was playing kind of deep into that preseason game last night. Legette was rested. So let's take Legette. So for the audio listeners, what we've got cooking is Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence, Michael Penix, Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Travis Etienne. Wide receiver room of Amon-Ra, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, and Xavier Legette, and then Brenton Strange at tight end. Not the world's greatest team. We're really going to have to hit on some late running backs. I'm always honest with you guys on how I think my teams have come out. I think I was more excited about the hand cucking of the Vikings receivers at the time than I am now, although I still don't hate it, but maybe I like this more if instead of Pacheco, this was a team where I took a running back in the first or in the second round. Like maybe I would feel better if I had gone with Derrick Henry with my second pick rather than going with London. Obviously, the whole team is quite different if I don't take Drake London there. I really love our wide receivers. I think this is a very, very strong wide receiver room. So this team is going to require a little bit of late running backs to hit for us. Tight ends, I think there's enough late tight end value where I really don't mind starting with Strange as long as I can get a couple of the guys that I like later in the draft. Now, B. Grandy, let's see what he did. After taking Tootin, he took Garendo and Stafford. I think Stafford, yeah, you had Puka, so that makes sense there. We're still getting a little discount on Stafford. He was going in the 150s before the injury stuff. Now he goes here at 160. You could get him super late. He was going essentially undrafted for a while, but we're still getting a little bit of a discount there, which I like. All right, let's see. K. Dotton goes. It's a good pick, Grandy, because that's who I was going to take there. If I'm going to take a swing at a running back, let's queue up Ollie Gordon. Let's see what happens there. If Ollie Gordon goes, then we'll see what happens. Isaiah Likely's gone. So let's take Ollie Gordon. If Ollie Gordon is everything has broken his way, now really with Ollie Gordon, we're dodging the Dolphins adding a the Dolphins adding another running back to the mix. So if we can avoid that, I think Ollie Gordon got a pretty darn good run out there. Eddie says, I'm typing poorly. Wish we could edit. I meant a 6 wide receiver team, 0 RB build. Gotcha. I mucked that up before. I kind of froze. Let's take Jonnu. I like Jonnu quite a bit. I think he's perfectly nice pick. And we're going to try to take one more running back later. This range of running backs, I think there's enough players I like. There. All right, let's see. I totally got messed up with the chat here. Goes card says 1Q equals a 2Q, a 3Q, and a 4Q. So a few. Oh, okay, yeah. So if you're talking about doing the contest for the quarterly contest, yeah, I think Underdog will still. I can't remember. They must have done this last year, but I don't remember because I don't think I did them. But I'm telling you, I want Underdog to release a playoff gauntlet. I think that would be so much fun. I think it would be so much fun to have teams where you're projecting the playoffs. Like, they should just do it. They don't have to make it huge. I would just love to see how I would draft, like, who I think is going to make the playoffs. Like, don't make it high dollar. Make it fun. Make it, I don't know, a $5.20 max. If people want to throw $100 in or something, they can do that. Or if people want to just throw a 5 in and live their playoff truth. I think that would be a super fun contest, but we'll see. I don't have any kind of sway with Underdog. Eddie Perez, I just took a 6. Okay, wait, this is where you edited it. All right, a 6 wide receiver team. I took a 6 wide receiver team, 0 running back build last night. I got Neighbors, Nakua, Evans, Ted McMillan, Terry, and Ridley. I just stopped and did draft another wide receiver class cannon build. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to like hate that. Like, if those 5 don't hit, or 6 don't hit, you're probably in trouble. Like, you're probably screwed. They went A-Rich, Flacco, A-Rich last year. Okay, Artillery Frost, thank you. Yeah, I knew they ended up like ping-ponging back to where they started. FK Coolers, I probably won't take Jones much, but can't see myself doing more than 1 to 3% of A-Rich in round 18 because they clearly want to move in. Yeah, that's my worry. My worry is that we're all like big braining it, like, oh, well, Flacco or Danny Dimes will not be there week 17, so let's take the one that will be. But I don't know if we can project who that is. Yes, Jones probably will stink though. FK Coolers, that is the issue with him. I wanted Strange, so I'm going to gift him to you. Hey, thanks, B Grandy. I do appreciate that. I don't want anyone to ever draft with me and then feel like they have to take different guys. I don't want to do that, because please take the guys that you are into, and do not worry about feeling like anyone's sniping me. I never want anyone to draft differently. Who take the time to hang out and draft with us. I'm going to hopefully get Chris Rodriguez here. I think he'd be a nice pick, undrafted in most contests. Our bye weeks are going to be a little wonky, but nothing too horrible. So let's take Chris Rodriguez. I mean, we've got a Jaden Daniels team. This team kind of went off the rails to begin with, so we're fine. Diami Brown's always tempting, but I think we need a third tight end on this team. Jatavion Sanders would probably be my preferred pick. Greg Dulcich looked good last night, but I think it's Theo Johnson's world. I'm not really worried about Dulcich icing him out. Don't really love the other options there. Again, I like Michael Mayer. I think he's a really fun click, but he's a little more contingent-y. If I'm starting my tight end room with Brenton Strange, then I don't think that's Michael Mayer's the best click there. So we'll take Jatavion Sanders. So this team ends up being a 3-6-6-3. Definitely a little weird. Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence, Michael Penix, and then Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Travis Etienne, Ollie Gordon, and Chris Rodriguez. And then a wide receiver room of Amon-Ra, Drake London, Garrett Wilson, Deebo Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, and Xavier Leggett. And then Brenton Strange, Jonnu Smith, and Jatavion Sanders. I feel like we landed the plane. I mean, we didn't land like a Dreamliner. We kind of landed like a DC-10 from the 1970s, but, it still gets you from point A to point B. So we'll see. Kind of a, you know what? I'll call this a fun team. Kind of a fun team. B. Grandy, he ends his team with Danny Dimes, Alec Pierce, and Jaylin Royal. So, yeah, I like the way you landed the team, B. Grandy, over there. I mean, honestly, KDOT at 177 is probably gonna outproduce Brenton Strange. Like, I would not be surprised with all the injuries in Tampa Bay. I think Otten is a super smash. So I do think things worked out for you, B. Grandy, in all honesty there. All right. Scatabo jersey equals me drafting Scatabo in BBM. So yeah, I can't just take, just because I have the jersey on, I cannot draft poorly. No offensive line can stave Danny Pennies. Hey, Darkside Dev, thanks for coming in and hanging out. Yep, he might just be beyond salvation, but he is out of excuses if he is bad. Because he has all the weapons in the world. Like, that offense, man, if they had a good quarterback, like, wheels up on that team. And, I already got that earlier. Goes cards with Rice most likely getting 6 games in Hollywood practicing. Isn't Hollywood a steal at ADP? Yeah, I think he's a good pick. They're going to be annoying. Like Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be playing a lot. Like, they're going to be annoying. They use a rotation. I don't think Hollywood Brown's that great anyway. He's very injury prone, as we've seen. I don't know. I'm fine taking Hollywood, but I'm not trying to click a ton of him. GM Lutz, thanks for coming in and hanging out. Dirty P, Ollie Gordon, and Kyle Monungai. I hope to carve out stand-alone value. Yeah, I'm much more on Gordon than Monungai, but I stopped clicking Monungai, but I think I have a fair amount of him. Joey BS, should QJ really fall this much because of concussion? I don't think so. I think you're getting a huge value on concussion. I think it's a little week one brain to let him go almost undrafted, like I've seen him go, especially on DK. He goes really late because of the flaming red out that they have there, or he might have a D. I don't know. Anyway, I've seen QJ go super late. Hey, Beastburf, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in and hanging out. We're gonna hop into another BBM in a second. I just want to catch up with chat. Who has a better fantasy year, Mims or Shaheed? That's a good question. I really like both of them. I think they're both great clicks. You make me pick, I'd say Shaheed, but I'm say that with no conviction. I like both of them pretty equally. I think I just kind of take them both at cost. And the Otten works well enough. Hey, I like Otten. He would have been a welcome member of the 11 hole we were rocking. Landed the plane in high winds. All right, yeah. The passengers may have done some clapping as the plane landed because they were kind of nervous. It's so hard for me to Dirty P. It's so hard for me to discern between QJ, Trey Harris, and KLS. Wouldn't be surprised if KLS proves to be the answer. I have almost 0, so track with my luck. Yes, I was not taking Mr. Lambert Smith very much. I was taking tons of Trey Harris. That feels terrible. It feels kind of terrible because we haven't heard much good about him, and he did not look great in his preseason games. Obviously the QJ injury opens the door a little bit, but they brought in Keenan Allen, and so it's not looking great. It's not looking. I'm getting very strong Jaylin Polk vibes from Trey Harris from my bags. I'm hoping it's not as big a 0 as Polk was, but with all that said, let's do it again. We're going to hop into a BBM. We've got 23 remaining, and we're waiting for 7. So if anyone wants to pop in, come on in. The water is fine. All right, waiting for 7. If anyone wants in, BBM. Darkside Dev says Trey Harris had a great game last week. Okay, so I missed that game, Darkside Dev. I forgot they had one more preseason game. So there you go. I apologize. I made that up. Buck asking me to post the last team I drafted. Oh boy. Hold on. I'm getting a request in the Matic Discord to post the team that just happened. So let me do that over there. Again, that's where I normally hang out, over in Davis's Discord. If you're not a part of that, it's a super fun Discord, very active, really fun. People will talk about anything and everything, and it's I think it's generally a pretty sharp group here. Where is BBM? I'm struggling. I've got Najee vision here looking for this. Dear God. Okay, there it is. All right. I don't know how to share my team on this. All right, they're just gonna have to wait. Over there. Let me post after stream. I'm bad at multitasking. All right. All right, let's see. Go back to this one, and we're off. We are live, and all right, we're off and live. 3 picks away, so we've got the 6. So, oh man, we're already rocking and rolling. Now, B Grandy's at the 5, so right next to me this time. B Spurf in at the 10. So, got some friends and family. If you are also in here, please let me know. Please let me know. Yeah, Najee Vision. Yeah, not great. Not great. I could not find it, and it was should have been right in front of my face. Saquon goes, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take more CMC because I think CMC is the pick if you're trying to win this contest from the first round. Yeah, no, I know I can post it from the phone. I just didn't want to, I didn't want to rudely pull my phone out on on stream. But I guess this isn't a Zoom meeting, so it's not quite the same. Not quite the same thing. Goes Gazy Card says if you didn't, now your completed teams are listed by high to low dollar amount. So if you are in $10 tourneys, you have gone too far. Ah, okay. I don't think I knew that. I felt like it was random, so I was struggling to find it while sharing my screen. There's nothing worse than watching someone sharing their screen, and you're like, click right there, and they're just like, just not getting the message. But you know what? We're off and running here. We're off and running, and you know what's not running? First of all, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. We're trying to get to 200 subs before the season starts. We've got 12 days left, so we're gonna have to pick up the pace. But you know what? If we get there, that's awesome. If we don't, that's fine too. We're not going anywhere. But let's get some music going here. Put your phone away. I see some of you all aren't paying attention. Yeah. All right, Beastburf, he goes Nico Bowers. So Bowers going there at 15 with Nico Collins. Nico, I feel like has been kind of sneaking his way up earlier into the first round. The back end of the first round has kind of flip-flopped all over the place, but generally it's been the same guys there. Oh man, we got CMC, and let's do CMC Bucky. You know what? No. Can I do it? I don't think I have a lot of CMC Jacobs. I think that's a combo I don't have a ton of. So let's try that. I'm pretty sure this is something I haven't really done. Yes, I prefer Bucky to Jacobs. I generally prefer A-Chain to Jacobs, but maybe try to get a little bit of a unique pairing here with CMC and see how we go. All right, those cards. The play I'm clicking now is last round Deontay Johnson. What? Really? I can't get there, man. I feel like Isaiah Bond is just younger Deontay Johnson. They gave him $3 million. I think I heard that was like the highest amount for a UDFA this year, something like that. I feel like Deontay Johnson is cooked, but maybe you have some information. I can't say that I've been following the back end of the Browns all that closely. I know with Flacco, I'm generally more interested in the pass catchers, but I'm really struggling to get there with Deontay. Eddie Perez, love this song. Going to request it at the club. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube has a 15-minute extended edition of Feeding the Ducks. If you ever really are hankering for that one. I have not searched for night driving, but I gotta think that that people just vibe to it out there. All right. B Grandy, he goes with Saquon AJ Brown, so he's got a nice Eagles situation. Brewing G-Bens here with Lamb, A-Chain, and Bucky. That's kind of nice. A-Chain at 22. Bucky in the third round. G-Bens there gets a really nice start. Probably gonna be fairly rare to get those three together, I have to say. So right, let's see. And then, you know what? The next part of our plan was to take Lamar Jackson. Lamar and Jacobs are a week 17 thing. I've been looking to get a little bit more Lamar Jackson in my life. I love these wide receivers, but again, I don't want to build the same teams over. I don't want to get the same exposures all the time. B Grandy takes James Cook at 29. Makes sense with his Eagles stack if he's building for week 17. James Cook fits the bill, so no issues with that there. And we'll see what B-Spurf does in a second. Tiger Uppercut, feeding the Fanons. I love that JJ Zacharyson asked Fanon's mom if she taught him how to walk in reference to the duck-footed thing. That is, I wish I had the confidence to ask that sort of question, because that is so funny. But yeah, he's that was just such a good bit. It just blew my mind. I still cannot believe that happened. But yeah, I'm in on Fanon. I'm taking him now, and I wish I had more, because I have a ton from the big board, and I thought the landing spot wasn't great. But the fact that they rested him in the last preseason game just seems to be like wheels up on Fanon. All right, Eddie Perez has been loading up on some Trey Tucker and Josh Reynolds. I have some Josh Reynolds, but very little. Although I don't take Trey Tucker anymore. I think that's way too crowded, and I can't imagine between. I think Betch is kind of take the Trey Tucker job. I have a real issue taking Tucker. He really wasn't very good last year. Like he really wasn't very good at all. All right. George Kittle would be a nice fall, but I'm really going to struggle to take a tight end after 0 receivers to 4. Let's get Xavier Worthy as the first wide receiver off the board. That seems pretty good. Xavier Worthy, he could he could definitely outproduce his ADP. Jameson Williams, I love him. He goes at the pick right before me. B. Grandy takes no chances. He gets Jalen Hurts. Obviously, that makes a ton of sense. Continuing his Eagles build with the Bills. Bring back B-Spurf. He adds Marvin Harrison Jr. and Mike Evans. Again, I love MHJ. We were literally taking him at the 1-2 turn, and now you get him in the 3rd round, and he's a year older. Presumably, he's going to be better. Young players make improvements. He is a pick where his ADP to me doesn't make sense. Like, we just are leaving this guy for dead when it seems like all indications are that's going to be a much better situation in Arizona. So I'm all about MHJ. I'm always happy to get him on my team. Ghost cards, not a sexy click. My computer crashes every time. I don't know. Oh, Deontay Johnson. Yeah, that is Michael Dell trying to speak to you through your computer, telling you, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to take Deontay Johnson. Eddie Perez got some Deontay loaded, but not some. You all could be right. I mean, I'm certainly willing to see the vision of being wrong. I'm just I'm struggling to get there now. Greg says, GM's happy Friday, gang. Hey, Greg, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out, fellow long-suffering Dolphins fan. Appreciate you coming by. GM to you. B. Grandy takes Travis Hunter, and I'll take Zay Flowers. If I'm gonna do this, I might as well get this stack. I think it's in a vacuum. I prefer DK Metcalf, but we took Lamar, so let's do Lamar Flowers. I think that makes a lot of sense. B. Grandy getting Travis Hunter, love that. Nice pick there at 53, and the board rolls on. Unless Betch runs a 4-3, I think Tucker will have his role. Betch is low-key a tight end. Yeah, I just feel like for the burner now they have Thornton, who I think is really I don't know. I mean, I know they play different positions. I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit to see how Trey Tucker fits into their plans generally. Maybe I'm just not enough of an X's and O's guy. I thought Betch and Tucker were competing for the same position on the field, and obviously they'd play it very differently. But I don't know. Yeah, yes, Joey B. Michael Dell. Yes, I'm referencing Michael Dell. Appreciate that. B-Spurf, don't ignore the signs. Goes cards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these are the signs on Deontay Johnson, if that's what B-Spurf is talking about, but I'm struggling to get there on that one. Greg says, though, I thought I was going to get some pug drafts this morning, went to bed 50% dead, West Coast Sab. That's what I'm saying, Greg. I said this earlier, the West Coast people, completely out of control. So what's also out of control is B-Spurf getting Metcalf at 58. That is a value and a half, and then he gets Kamara. So B-Spurf, I like your team quite a bit that you've got going on there. Let's see. We can go either direction with our selection here. Man, I really like Debo. I like these receivers. Let's take a Debo share here. I'm pretty into him, even without Daniels. I think that's kind of a fun click. We started off with kind of fading early wide receivers. So let's get that Debo on the team. So for the audio listeners, we've got Lamar Jackson, CMC, Josh Jacobs, and then Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, and Debo Samuel. I like this team so far. It definitely feels a little better than the last team we concocted, but we also were able to get Flowers here at 54. He easily could have gone earlier, which would have probably changed my complexion on this a little bit. Although with Lamar, you can get Bateman and just make a Lamar Bateman team. You can get Andrews, make a Lamar Andrews team, or even a very late likely team. I think likely is going to come on late in the season. I think that's perfectly fine with Lamar teams. So, yeah, not a bad start for us so far. Pacheco goes at around his ADP there at 72. Eddie Perez, PPR scoring. Tucker had like 3 usable weeks last week. Yeah, I'm just worried that he's going to get phased out this year with them drafting two wide receivers there. That's just kind of my general concern there. Goes Card says, I don't understand Hurts and Brees falling to the 5th. I get the Hurts thing. I mean, the vibe on Hurts is, sorry, I meant the Brees thing. The Hurts thing I don't understand either. Man, what do we want to do here? You know what we're going to do? We're going to live a little. We're going to live, and we're going to take Pat Mahomes, and then we are going to probably just make this a 2 QB team. I do a ton of 3 QB builds. Going double elite QB is probably bad. Going Lamar Mahomes is on the border, but I'm going to make a Lamar Mahomes team. We're going to try this. We're going to see if we can't land this plane, and we're going to try something new. And again, don't want all my teams to look the same. Don't want to build bad teams, but I think this is defensible. I think probably don't want to take a third quarterback, although I'll never rule anything out. If we get some kind of falling value, we get some kind of good stack we want to do. But let's do that. Let's try that. We'll pressure the room a little bit on quarterback and try something on this particular team. But yeah, I mean, the Brees thing, his preseason usage has definitely been a little bit concerning. There's been some reports about him, coming in out of shape, about some, drinking stuff, all very second, third handy kind of rumory stuff, but just enough to start making you concerned. By the way, William H guy was watching the last stream, but he does Jones Mason handcucking. So, we were trailblazers here. You saw this here first on this channel. If it sucks, then you actually just forget you saw it here at all. But kind of interesting he did that there. But yeah, I don't understand Hurts falling. Hurts falling just seems kind of crazy to me. Yeah, let's take. All right, let's take Travis Kelce. I could have taken Andrews there as well, but I think I would rather double stack the pocket passer than the rushing quarterback. But I'm certainly open to having done that the other way. You tell me who's going to score more this year, Andrews or Kelce. I almost think it's Andrews, but the market disagrees there, and I don't want to get crazy out over my skis. But we'll take Travis Kelce. We're definitely behind in the position players. I will say that we're definitely behind in the position players. Terrence, GM to you. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. I just accidentally passed the 1,000 mark on drafters. 1,003. Now I have to finish strong compulsion to get an exact 2 play. Can you relate? Woof. No, because honestly, Terrence, I have accepted that I can't max every contest, and it's perfectly arbitrary where things end. Like I got 9 of one of the Huskies in, which I think would drive people nuts not getting the 10. I'd be a little upset if I got like 147 BBMs. That would kind of gnaw at me a little bit, but I don't need to get to fully round numbers, and there's just not enough time in the day to max every contest. I think that's I think that's something that people end up falling into and is not really a great way to do stuff. You just end up drafting minus EV teams because you feel like you have to be like drafting and going full steam ahead. Mark Andrews comes all the way back to us. Man, this has to be bad. We're going to do it. We're going to do it, guys. We're going to probably make this a 2772. I never go 2772. I think it is suboptimal. It is, like someone said earlier, razor thin. But you know what? We're going to try something. We're going to try something. I think I probably only have 2 or 3 2772s in this contest. We can still take one more tight end or running back if they do fit the mold here. And I'm going to tell myself that it is possible for Andrews or Kelsey to hit your flex, in a truly good week. But am I really that upset about missing Cooper Kupp or Luther Burden here versus getting these double stacks? I don't know. We're going to try something. If the Ravens and the Chiefs are really good, this team might be good. And that's not like the craziest bet that the Ravens and the Chiefs will be good. And we've mixed in CMC and Jacobs as running backs who I'm pretty into. So we're going to try something that again, this could be very bad. But you get a cross section of teams on this channel, and some of them are not going to pan out. I will just tell you that, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. But we'll see how we go. All right. Beast Burf plus EV for everyone. Oh, you're talking about the fall on those guys. Eddie Perez. I need to know who my 2024 Juwan Jennings is this year. I had so much Jennings. Oh, that is nice that you had that last year. I got to think about who that would be for this year, like an older breakout. I don't know. Darkside Dev, I didn't think the first quarter tournament would fill so quick. I'm surprised it filled that quick. When I saw it announced, I was like, ooh, this may not work out. Christian Kirk is my nominee. You know what, Terrence? That was actually the name that first came to my head, but I wanted to think about that more. But I could see that. I could see that too, although I feel like Christian Kirk is even less out of nowhere. We could do Bateman for the quad. I don't think I want to do that. That's a little too much, but let's do Christian Kirk here. I think that's a nice compliment to what we're doing on this team, kind of potentially steady Eddie player who might really have more upside than we were thinking. But yeah, I don't think I need to triple stack Lamar at this point and taking Bateman there. I think that's starting to get a little bit too thin. Cedric Tillman, as long as Flacco is throwing, maybe. Beastburf, I used to consider myself a Deontay Bull, but he burned me so much last year in DFS and best ball. Yeah, me too. I mean, he was very good like the first, was it 2 games of the year? And then the wheels just came completely off. He probably will. I'll burn you. Yeah, Deontay. Yeah, it's tough scene there. Greg says, any elite QB with Mahomes on a 2 QB build feels amazing. All right, Greg. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this team ends up. Goats cards. I love McBride this year, but at his current ADP, I like Laporta, Hawk, Kelsey, and Ingram. Yeah, I see that argument. It's funny. I feel like we have like the 3 distinct tiers this year. You have your Bowers, McBride, and then Kittle's kind of like in a weird middle ground. And then you have, like you said, Laporta, Hawk, Kelsey, Ingram, Andrews. And then you got that like mid tier. Let me draft a player before I keep on rambling. Yikes. Is it Luther Burden? We could do Luther Burden. Yeah, we'll do Luther Burden there. I think he's kind of fun. He's also a bring back to CMC, although I'm not really a big bring back guy. If you've watched this stream, you know kind of my thoughts on that. But being that I did start with CMC Jacobs as my anchor running backs, I'm feeling the need to catch up at receiver. Burden does seem like, he's going to ice out Zacchaeus by the end of the season. It could potentially be a strong pick. For the audio listeners, let me recap. We've got Lamar and Mahomes. We've got CMC and Jacobs. We've got Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, Deebo Samuel, Christian Kirk, and Luther Burden. And then we've got Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews at tight end. I actually kind of like this team. I got to say, I feel like it's coming together, but, opinions may vary. Let's see what B. Grandy's done since adding Travis Hunter. He's added Steph Diggs, Khalil Shakir, Jalen Warren, Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, and Trevor Lawrence. So B. Grandy's built out some stacks. He's up to 3 quarterbacks. Makes sense. Makes sense there. B-Spurf still at 1 QB. Since getting Metcalf and Kamara, he added David Montgomery, a little bit of a faller there. Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins, Tank Bigsby, and CJ Stroud. So he gets Stroud paired with Collins and Higgins. Nice double stack there. Hopefully Stroud throws to Christian Kirk instead. But you know what? If he throws to B-Spurf's guy, I won't be too upset. If a friend of the channel gets out of the pod, I will not complain. Cam Ward at 136, a little bit early, especially ahead of Goff, McCarthy, and co there. I think Braylon Allen would be a podium pick for this team. If Braylon Allen goes, darn it, I really wanted Braylon Allen. That would have been nice because I don't really love the other options here. I don't take a lot of Austin Eckler, but let's do that. Maybe I'm not really excited with how that went. Allen would have been really nice on this team, I feel like. But Eckler is a guy I was not taking a ton of. I think his job is not going to change all that much with B-Rob on the outs, but it could. I could just be wrong about that. I think Eckler kind of has his job, but that job can be pretty fruitful. So we'll add Eckler to the team. B. Grandy, he gets Goddard with his Giant Eagles stack, so that makes sense. Glad that Goddard found a good home there. But yeah, I was definitely hoping for something a little more exciting at running back than Eckler. But hey, you know what? We soldier on. Terrence. Eddie says that Terrence Juwan was a last round pick last year. Undrafted Kirk is going quite a bit higher. That is fair. So yeah, we need to figure maybe a better comp. Greg says, I wish I could get drafted into Kelsey. I'm at 1%. He can beat me. I don't know, man. Week 17 rolls along and they're getting into playoff mode. I'm scared of having no Kelsey. I'm really kind of scared of it. I meant production profile, not price. Yes. But I guess I see the if you're trying to draw the analogs here. 2 BMs left for Goes AZ Cards, only doing 60. 58.6% Bowdle, 31% Debo, and apologize 3.4 Scatabo. Hey, that's okay. You've got some Scatabo. You're not a Scatabo hater, so you are always welcome. Always welcome here. Boy, this gets so thin. Let's take Demario Douglas here. Not the most scintillating pick, but I think he's fine. Worries me a little that Efton Chisholm actually seems like semi-competent, and I think that they have the same role, but it does seem like they like Pop Douglas over there in New England. So we'll add Pop Douglas to the crew, and then so we're up to 6 receivers after starting off with no receivers through our first 3 picks. Dowdle. The only thing is I think it's Ben Gretsch has been hyping Trevor Etienne, which is starting to scare me because he knows what he's talking about. I have a ton of Dowdle too. Dowdle, I believe, is in my top 16%. He's scrolling across the bottom now. So I have a lot of Dowdle. I'm twice the field on him. Trevor Etienne looked decent, looked pretty good last night. They did draft him, but I think they paid Dowdle enough to where I do think it is going to be, he's going to have that base role plus some contingent upside. But, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, how could this have happened if Etienne actually beat him out by the end of the season? It is possible. It is possible. It's not how I've played it, but it is something that I'm kind of have had my eyes open to. Feels like if there was a safe 58%, if there ever was. Well, that's what I thought, Greg, until recently. Joel, GM to you. GM, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out this morning. Darkside Dev, also not a bring back guy. Yeah, I just think the edge is kind of gone. And what we do is it's like even the mantra of breaking ties to the bring back, I think just you end up breaking the same tie a lot. Because drafts kind of happen in these pockets. So you end up correlating 2 guys that are completely uncorrelated until 1 week of the year, at which point they may not even be the correlation you may need, or the game might suck and you've correlated completely wrong. So I don't know. 46% Dowdle and 11 of Limbs. I have a problem. That is a lot. Darkside Dev, Eckler is a 3rd down back. He literally said he doesn't want to be a workhorse. No, I'm not drafting him to be a workhorse. I'm drafting him hoping he has some spike weeks here. Yeah, we'll take Will Shipley. I think he's one of the better contingent bets. One of the better contingent bets out there. So let's do that again. You know, if we take CMC in the first round, we're kind of leveraging the Barkley people who are drafting around us. So, you know, if something happens to Saquon, we're getting it in really good with Shipley. But yeah, I'm not worried about this Dark Side Dev. I know Eckler is not going to be the workhorse. But they may draw up more plays for him. Like he might get a little more work than they were initially planning. But they might not. Like I was not big on Eckler. I don't have very much Eckler at all. Greg says I'm a Ford man, 40%. Actually alarming. Dear God, Greg, that's a lot of Ford. I don't have like any Ford. I don't have any Ford, but maybe, you know, I don't know if Judkins is still even going to like play this year. Like they haven't even signed the kid yet. So I don't know. Ford might still be okay, but my God, that's a lot of Jerome Ford. Joey B says Trevor Etienne had a nice run last night. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. So, you know, we'll see. I'm not trying to FUD Dowdle. I'm not trying to FUD my own bags. I'm just trying to say that, you know, if you're happy with your thing or you're overweight, like you probably can cool on him ever so slightly. Ollie Gordon goes to Egghead. That's a little unfortunate. I would have loved me some Ollie Gordon here. Man, the old familiar running backs we used to get in this range are now all gone. Wide receivers not even that fun. I mean, I just was fudding Dowdle relentlessly, and now I'm like gonna take him, but I think he's fine. No, I don't want Dowdle. No, I'm not gonna get it. I'm too slow. Am I too slow? Who did I get? We're gonna find out together. We got Woody Marks. We did it. Nimble fingers. All right, we got Woody Marks. Again, I have 16%. I have 16% Dowdle. I'm willing to take some other bets in this range here. So we'll do that. We'll see how that goes. For the audio listeners, we've got a 2-5-6-2 with Lamar and Mahomes. We've got CMC, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, Will Shipley, and Woody Marks. Wide receiver room of Xavier Worthy, Zay Flowers, Deebo Samuel, Christian Kirk, Luther Burden, and Mario Douglas, and then Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews at tight end. So we'll keep on keeping on. Gretchen Siegel also told us to take minimum one Denver running back on every year. We will be okay. Hey, I mean, you know, you put yourself out there and you get held to only the bad takes. So I have sympathy there. I don't think that was an unreasonable position at all. Like, amazing offensive line. Really, if you told people like how good Denver was last year, you would say, oh, well, surely one of their running backs got there, and you'd be wrong. But like, I don't know. I'm willing to give a pass on that. Yeah, Estimate. Oof. Yeah, Estimate is deader than dead. I think I almost cut him at a dynasty team. I'm afraid Estimate is a bright future at State Farm. Those cards at ADP 175 for Dowdle. If he hits my lineup 3 times, I will be happy. Yeah, I'm not saying Dowdle is like a bad click by any means. I mean, all of these guys have contingency to one degree or other. I'm just saying it's not like the quote unquote safe pick that I think many of us kind of thought it was. Let's get another guy that's kind of been a riser, and he fits with our Lamar Jackson team. Let's get Keaton Mitchell in there. To me, he's kind of the direct Henry backup more so than Justice Hill. So happy to get Keaton Mitchell on the team. DJ Giddens was the other guy I was thinking of selecting there. Really like DJ Giddens. Think he goes too late for the contingent value that he is. But again, I wanted to get, if Lamar has a down week and Henry's not there, then maybe it's Keaton Mitchell leading Baltimore. Baltimore's taken a lead. Like we could end up seeing some Keaton Mitchell stuff. He looked pretty good early on in the camp and stuff. I haven't seen much lately. I know he was dealing with an injury, so I don't remember if he's played in the last preseason game, but it does seem like they were pretty excited about him. Oh, Darkside Dev, I was agreeing with you that Eckler has a role. Gotcha. Yeah. Again, that's why I haven't been that in on him, but I I could still see him hitting lineups, a couple times this year, or at least not being like a pure zero. Like he could get us through a bye week when CMC and Jacobs are on bye. Goes cards. I like Ford, but I'm a Samson guy. Cleveland being catch up from start to finish. So give me the passing down back. Hopefully, yeah. I just don't like Samson. I mean, he's like came out and said he doesn't like being tackled, which just feels extremely bearish to me. Miles, man, this is a really this range has gotten so picked over from what it used to be. Blake Corum is a guy that I should have been taking, but have not. No, I want Chris Rodriguez. I'm too slow, aren't I? I'm not too slow. I got Chris Rodriguez. Let's go. Oh no, but I already had Eckler. Oh no, that's what I get. That's what I get for trying to have nimble fingers. I totally forgot I had Eckler. Well, now, surely we have some form of, I keep hand-cucking. This is like the hand-cucking episode. I wasn't trying to. I do want more Blake Corum because I don't have much Kyron. And someone was like, oh, so you don't take Kyron. You must have a lot of Blake Corum. And I'm like, I should be taking Blake Corum. So don't have much Blake Corum. That's okay. We do have Chris Rodriguez, who, again, he's going to be unowned for most of this contest. And, maybe they kind of ping pong. Maybe one of them's good. Maybe they both stink. I don't know. But we'll take some Chris Rodriguez on here, and we'll take one more receiver. And yeah, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin at this range, but we've got some we've got some options. Hopefully, I'll go over everyone's team when this is done. Yeah, I don't think anyone expects a workhorse this late. I hope not. Yes, no dark side value. You really shouldn't be expecting a workhorse this week. B Spurf gets Io Manor. I like that click. Greg says there's a bet against the rookies that got out of control when the QJ news came out. Greg, I'm sorry, I missed what you were referring to there. Goes cards. If Barkley gets hurt this season, I'm toast since I have very little Shipley. Yeah, I'm kind of into Shipley. I'll be honest. I think he's a pretty darn good bet there. Let's queue up Troy Franklin. If Franklin goes, we'll take Yoshi Voss. I like both of those clicks. Franklin, again, going to be unknown most of the contest. Vele just got traded away. He's a bring back to Mahomes. I told you I don't worry about bringbacks, but I am light on Franklin. He's a guy I want, so he makes sense on this team. So we got a 2-7-7-2. Not the build I prefer to do, but hey, we'll give it a whirl. See if you guys like the team. We got Lamar and Mahomes. We got CMC, Jacobs, Eckler, Shipley, Woody Marks, Keaton Mitchell, and Chris Rodriguez. So we're really going to be leaning on CMC and Jacobs. That's all I can say on that. Worthy, Zay Flowers, Debo Samuel, Christian Kirk, Luther Burden, Demario Douglas, Troy Franklin. I like the receiver room. And then, of course, Kelsey and Andrews. I like that. Kind of different. Very fragile. Very fragile going 2 QBs, 2 tight ends. Tight ends, of course, the most frequently injured position. So a little scary doing that. But hey, we'll, again, gotta live a little here. As a great man once said. All right, so let's check B. Grandy. So he went with Hurts, Drake May, and Trevor Lawrence. So with a 3-5-7-3, a more traditional build. Saquon, James Cook, Ramondre, DJ Giddens, and Roschon Johnson. I like your running back room there. AJ Brown, Travis Hunter, Steph Diggs, Khalil Shakir, Kyle Williams, Dante Thornton, Josh Reynolds. Makes sense. I like Josh Reynolds, and I kind of like Josh Reynolds if you don't have Fields, because I think most Reynolds teams are going to be field stacks. And let's say if something happens with Fields, he gets benched. Maybe you get a more traditional pocket passer in there. Maybe Reynolds sees a bump. So I don't mind taking Reynolds, with your last round pick. He's going to be very unowned, and maybe that tells a different story than most other Reynolds teams. And then you've got Tyler Warren, Dallas Goedert, and Mason Taylor. So wait, you don't have Fields, right? No, you don't have Fields. Okay. I saw 2 Jets on there and thought maybe I had that wrong. So like that team. Let's check on B Spurf here. B Spurf. B Spurf. He goes 3-6-7-2. He's got CJ Stroud, Geno Smith, and Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, of course, looked very good in preseason action last night. Alvin Kamara, David Montgomery, Tank Bigsby, Najee Harris, Jerome Ford, and Rico Dowdle. Also just couldn't resist all the Rico Dowdle talk there. Nico Collins, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins, and Alec Ayomanor. Yep, this is a to me, this is a very strong wide receiver room. I've cooled on Higgins, but at 106, I feel like that's like pretty darn hard to pass up, especially if your plan is to make a Stroud Collins team. And then Brock Bowers, Kyle Pitts. Yeah, you've got Brock Bowers. You don't need to do much more at tight end, like the team there that B Spurf has put together. Let me catch up with chat. Greg says people forget Ford's a pretty sick passing down back and O-line sneaky good. All right, enough Ford coat from me. Hey, I mean, Ford was really good in the playoffs the last 2 years, I think. So you never know. Terrence likes taking Judkins and Ford and doesn't think Sampson is it, but I have nothing to go on. Yeah, for me, I feel like I see Sampson and I think Wright from the Dolphins because they're both Tennessee backs, and that's probably really unfair to Dylan Sampson. But hey, that's where we're at. FK Coolers, Judkins still goes too high for someone unsigned on the Brown not practicing. Yeah, I can't take him. I'm with you there, FK Coolers. Eddie Perez says, I heard Chad Kendall's about to max multi-table the Mastiff. Yeah, if we have a big year, maybe we'll do some Mastiffs, but I can't justify 2 Mastiffs is almost like, 3 Mastiffs is more than the entirety of BBM. So can't quite get there. Greg VS says low key 3 down back skills. QJ is Jonathan Brooks without the injury, and Ford is Chuba. Now I am all right. All right. See, QJ confuses me because to me it's QJ is the receiver on the Chargers. So then Judkins, we need something else for Judkins. He can't be QJ. It confuses my simple mind here. At the end of the season, I should find a new hobby, but I can't stop donating. Hey, this is a hobby. This is a hobby. At the end of the day, this has to be fun because there are way easier ways to make money than grinding best ball, where honestly most of us are going to do not win. I mean, that's just the reality. If you're doing this to make money, like you cannot guarantee you will make money, even if you put in all the effort in the world. Like there's so much variance, there's so much can go wrong, so much out of your control, that this has to be fun. This has to be fun, and money you win is a bonus. I'm not saying to play badly and like donk it off, but like, you just have to be realistic that there is a good chance, no matter how good of a drafter. Like there's a chance Liam loses money this year, and I think Liam is, a top 5 best ball player in the world, and he could still lose, and that would not make him a bad player. It would just mean like things just went the other way. Like it's just a reality. It's a write-off. Yes. Spurf got incepted. Yeah, we got him to take Dowdle. Good job, guys. Good job. Pete going live Friday for Best Ball Breakfast at 10. Oh, Skeletor, thank you for letting me know, because I was going to go live and or I was going to do another, and that would be bad. That would be bad. All right, let me see. Maybe we can do maybe I have enough time for one of these. If Pete's going live at 10, I think we can squeeze in a pick 6 if it fills. If it doesn't fill, I should have done this before. I wish I read your comment, because then waiting for 2. All right. Well, I'm going to try to get this done, and then we'll get out of here. Mathology, morning, Chad. Hey, Mathology, thanks so much for coming and hanging with us. I saw you're in the Guillotine League with Pete. I will be in that as well. I need to sign up for a time slot. I actually almost signed up for the one with you because you get 2, and then I was like, Mathology might feel like that's weird because the whole spreadsheet was empty, and it'd be like being on a bus and the bus is empty and you sit next to the one guy that's there, and you're just like, why is this guy sitting next to me? So Mathology, I didn't sit next to you on the empty bus, but I thought about it. FK Coolers, exactly. BBM is the worst game selection imaginable as guiding the Prophet's goal. Yeah, 100%. It truly is here. Fantasy Football Garage. All right, GM. All right, do it. Let's hang together. All right, awesome. Well, if it's still open, Mathology, I'll put my name down, and we can hop on. It will be the late night hammer to the Guillotine League. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do this if he's just like, God damn it, why does this guy? But yeah, it'll be fun. I'm glad I made the cut for that league. I was in it last year. I got 3rd. I don't know how. My team was on the chopping block four of the past 5 weeks or something. It was a tough scene. We can get loose together. Yeah. I have my parents are coming into town because my kid is we're doing his 2-year-old birthday, so my parents are flying in and they're staying with me in my normal office, which is why I'm exiled here. So I'm going to be not in my normal streaming environment. I'll probably be something like this. Hopefully I can spruce it up a little bit. This guy taking the full time is just really sucks. Like, why are we winding the clock to take the 101? Or am I frozen? Like, I don't know. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we taking the full clock in this? The bathroom meme with 50 urinals and you stand next to them. Let's draft. Yeah, that's how I felt at Get Coolers. I was like, I can't do this. I can't be that guy. All right. Why is this already taking longer than a BBM? What is going on? Are these people also not trying to sign off before Pete goes live? Like, 2 people took their full clock on the first pick. What are we doing? Why? What are we doing? I know this is real money, so people can take it seriously, but you really should probably know who your first round pick is in this contest. All right, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? We'll take Jahmyr Gibbs here at 4. Steve, what's going on? Hey man, thanks so much for coming in. Steve was streaming during the Giants preseason game, so he did not get to watch Cam Scadabo's electrifying 3 rushes for 12 yards. But I saw enough to where I'm still in. So Steve, thanks so much for coming in and hanging out. I'm just running one of these pick sixes before I hop off. Pete is apparently going live at 10, and I was trying to sneak in one of these before then. We're trying to get out of here, and then people are taking their full clock to make their first pick, so it's going poorly. But hey, so I think the general strategy in these for me has been kind of similar to Badge Bros Brawl, where you want to go more heavily on the running backs early, because it gets a lot thinner than wide receiver. In this contest, you don't have to take a tight end. I think I still want 2 quarterbacks. I would like 1 elite quarterback and then 1 stack. Is that the optimal way to play it? I don't know. I've put some thought into this, but I can't say I've done any deep dive into this. But that's sort of my general consensus is like a 2-4-4 is how I'm going to build most of these. Steve reminded us that if you have 4 teams with the same 4 skill position guys with the same bye week, you can't fill out a roster, something like that. So you just want to be a little cognizant of bye weeks, because you could end up getting kind of buried there. I can't believe these 2 guys have taken their full clock with their first 2 picks. And evidently this guy must have put people in his queue, because he's now not on auto draft. I just don't understand people. All right, maybe he's there. Maybe he's back and alert, and we can get this done. But the pace here is grueling here. All right. Let's see. I'll likely take. I don't know if I'm going to take a elite quarterback or if I'm going to take Drake London here. I guess it's going to depend on what Cowboy, who is also taking his full clock, decides to do. My God. Let's take Drake London and hope people aren't elite QB pilled, and if they are, then we might have messed up. Go Scars, shoot, check. What is your Scatabo in this expo? I've only done 2 or 3, and I don't have any Scatabo. Badge Bros Brawl, however, I have 89.6% Scatabo in 120 of them. So that is my philosophy. Was if Scatabo is good, then I am simply going to get a team to the finals in Badge Bros Brawl and hopefully get there. So I went all in on Scatabo in that contest, and we'll see what happens. I'd love Jonathan Taylor, but I really do think I believe what I said about elite quarterback, and that might get away from me if I don't take one here. No, Steve, I did. I mean, I literally went all in on. Let me see. Let me pull this up. 6-person contests, $10 entry, 120 teams, 89.2% Scatabo. There you have it. I mean, I had a plan, and I stuck to it. All right, so we did get our elite quarterback. I think we took Daniels. I think at this point the running backs are a little bit flat, and I could take one of these elite receivers. I can't believe this guy is taking his full clock here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm just like not happy with where I am in this draft. We'll take Lad McConkey. I think that's fine. If Omarion Hampton falls to us, then maybe we take Hampton and then Herbert would be our QB, but that didn't happen. So we got to come up with another plan. I've got 2 week 8 running back buys. That's not great. We're gonna have to come up with another plan there. There's a lot of week 8 running back buys, but we'll figure something else out. Obviously, though, I can't do Kyron. I can't do Ken Walker. So my options are somewhat limited. I think that makes Travion Henderson a priority. If Travion Henderson goes, then we'll take Tyreek here. I think Bowers is fine, but you are paying. I think you're still paying a little bit of a premium for him being in a tight end. But let's take Travion Henderson here. FK Cooler says, yes, you will take a 0 in flex if you have a combo of 4 running back, wide receiver, and tight end with the same buy. Okay, yes, thank you, FK Coolers. I thought that's where we were at. So we have 2 right now, and I think we'll be okay as long as we don't go crazy with week 8 stuff. Ghost Card says, my Dowdle will beat your Scatabo in the Badge Bros Brawl Finals. Hey, I think to me, that's how I want to play it. I mean, I wanted to make a big stand, and hopefully we get there. Al Boogie, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in. We're wrapping up a pick 6 before Pete goes live at 10 for Best of Ball Breakfast. All right. So again, don't want to take another week 8 guy. I don't really like Breece Hall. I mean, Alvin Kamara is fine. Maybe we do Garrett Wilson if that comes to us. Even Alvin Kamara goes. So this is getting away from us ever so slightly. We've got a 1-3-3, so we're going to take one more quarterback and then one more running back and one more receiver, and that's going to do it. I don't think you guys just watch the winning lineup. I'm going to be honest with you all, but hopefully this team ends up not being too bad. Let's see, what other running backs do we want? I mean, RJ Harvey's fine. Is there any scroll down option that's kind of fun? Pacheco, Mason, Caleb, Braylon Allen. I think scrolling down is an edge in here, but I'm not going to do it this contest. Like, that's probably bad. I feel like this contest, I didn't end up with like a really natural, like QB I want to stack. I think it'll be Fields. I think I could just do Fields and Garrett Wilson because I'll just skinny stack him. And then for my last receiver, maybe I'll do Debo, because I don't think Debo's going to be 100% owned. I think, maybe because of the holdout, there will be more Debo Daniel stacks than I'm expecting, but we'll see. So we'll take Justin Fields with our next pick, assuming this guy doesn't rifle off a third quarterback, which I think is bad. So we've got a team of Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields, Jahmyr Gibbs, Ashton Genty, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, a wide receiver room of Drake London, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, and Debo Samuel, and that will do it, people. That will do it today. I would love to get on. On the weekend. So we'll see if I can do a best ball by candlelight. I would love to do one of those, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to make a promise to that if I can't get it done. Ghost Card says only worthy scroll is Chris Rodriguez. I mean, I don't hate it. They're like scrolls like that. Those guys are going to be unowned. And if Chris Rodriguez is the Kyron Williams of this year, or Krosky Merritt or something like that, then you're going to get a pretty hefty edge. So we'll take Debo and we will call it there. Again, thanks everybody for coming in. 12-hour stream. We'll see. I would love to do it. I would love to have 12 hours to devote to that, but I would definitely need a little more child care. Asking my wife to take the kid for 12 hours so I can stream is I don't know if that's the spouse capital I want to cash in, because that's a pretty hefty ask. But we'll take Debo. Everybody, thank you so much. I really appreciate hanging out. This was a ton of fun today, and I'll see you all at the very least on Monday, but now hopefully this weekend. Take care, everyone.